Hey there, Photo Universe. It's okay, it's been a while. Busy fall season here. We're going to try to get up to date on some of our videos. I got tons of ones I want to do. But I figured I'd start here because Daryl in England, from what I understand, has bought himself a K5, and that's very exciting. And I think he's enjoying it. But he asked a question about the filters that I use nowadays. And maybe we can save him a few pounds. We use dollars, they use pounds, and so maybe we'll save him a few pounds and kind of narrow down what you need, what you don't, and just basically for what I think. He mentioned landscapes and kinds of photography that I do. So what I got here is a pile of stuff that I've accumulated. This is just part of it. Pile of filters and stuff that I've accumulated over the years. So just so you can, I'm not, I have this out, I don't use all this anymore. But to just show you that I have experience with all of it. The Lee filter system, it's an excellent British filter system made in England. Extremely high quality. Kind of makes you wish that the British made cameras. Not that Japanese cameras aren't high quality, but I mean, this thing is, the screws are brass. I mean, it'll last you your lifetime, unless you'd ran it over with your car. Anyway, the Lee filter system is an excellent system. And what I've got here is the 95mm ring, okay, and an adapter, 77 to 95. You get the biggest ring, and then you can adapt it to whatever you want. Now, the point is, okay, I bought this, and I was shooting a Pentax 6.7 at the time, film camera, with these giant filters, because one of my lenses was like 95, or it was huge. Okay, I don't use this anymore. I don't use it at all. It's too cumbersome. It's too slow. Just this Koken system filter thing in general. It's just too cumbersome, too slow. Now, these are the filters I used back in my film days. Okay, when I was shooting a lot of black and white. I had a polarizer. That's an infrared filter. Huh. I still might use that one. Anyway, forgot I had that. Okay, red, green, yellow. Down here we've got Cross Star from weddings photography when I was shooting film. This is a warm-up filter, Nikon A2, great warm-up filter. If you shoot film, these are great. You definitely need them. With the exception of the infrared filter, that should be a polarizer. I used to keep my polarizer in there. So that was all my film filters. Okay, don't use any of those anymore either. Alright, I'm down to that, and I need to keep that aside. If I want to do some infrared photography, I'll be looking for that. Anyway, I'm down to this, and this is a Tamrac system accessory. That's an MXS 5363, and what I've got in here is usually I have 3 filters, but my polarizer is missing right now. Anyway, so, oh no, here it is. Okay, so that's a Hoya Super Pro 1 77mm circular polarizer. Okay, that's my most used filter. I would replace this today if I were to be buying a new one of these. I would buy the B+W circular polarizer, the Casman. I've heard great things about that. It's like 180 bucks. But this one is a value option. I think it's like 100 something. But for the few dollars, this might be like 130. For the few dollars more, I'd buy the B+W. And this is a B+W neutral density, and it's the 110 10BL 1000X, and you can't even see. You can barely see through that. And I use that for long-time exposures. Now, I have adapter rings. This is a 49 to 77. Most recently, I've been using this with my limiteds, so they're all 49. So what I do is I buy all my 77mm filters, and I adapt them with a ring, and that just saves money. So basically, I have 2 filters that I carry on with me all the time. I know I usually when I need a neutral density filter, I need something that is 8 stops. 3 stops doesn't do it for me. I can get 2 stops of neutral density out of my polarizer filter. Okay, so that's that. That's my filter system. I don't use graduated neutral densities anymore. I take 2 shots and blend them in Photoshop. Actually trying to get that right in the field, even with the viewfinder on the back, I don't have time for that. It's easier to click the button, you know, move the exposure, take 1 exposure for the sky, take 1 exposure for the ground, and that's usually where we're at, and split them by 3 or 4 stops and then blend them. I mean, it's just easier in Photoshop. And if you're on a tripod and you're taking 2 pictures of the same thing within seconds of each other, you're just maximizing your dynamic range is all you're doing. I mean, so is that high dynamic range? No, not really. I'm not really doing that. What I'm doing is taking an exposure for the sky and I'm taking an exposure for the ground, and I'm putting the 2 pictures together. So, I mean, it is kind of expanding the dynamic range, but it's not an HDR thing. If I do HDR, which I don't do that often, the trick to HDR is to make it look like it's not HDR. Just like the trick to flash photography is to make it look like you didn't use a flash. If you can't tell a flash was used, then, you know. Sometimes in the beginning of my videos you see a photograph of 2 tulips intertwined, and that's flash photography. And I used a flash on that. And you really can't tell. I mean, now that I've said that, you're going to go, oh yeah, there's a flash. But you didn't look at that and go, oh, that was a flash, you know. So, all right. So, hey, Daryl, I hope that helps you out. That's what I'm using. I use the polarizer most of the time when I'm outside. I use it on things that even enhances like green foliage and stuff. So put it on there, see what it looks like. I mean, you know, remember a polarizer works best 90-degree angle. As you get off 90-degree angle from the sun, it gets less effective. But again, put it on there, see the effect, twirl it around, see what it looks like. You can see it through the viewfinder really easily. The neutral density filter, that's a whole nother video. I need to clean that. So the neutral density filter, that's a whole nother video. And buy the rings. Sometimes I go out with 3 or 4 different rings. Make sure you have the ring for the lens you're using. I mean, I've got 77s fit directly. Then I've got 67s, I've got 49s, 52s, 58s. Just buy the different ring. Put the filter on the ring. There it is. So infrared filter. I don't do that very often though. So anyway, there is my filter system. All right, Daryl, I hope that helps you out, and I hope it helps somebody out as well, everyone else as well. And that's what I'm using nowadays. The miracles of digital. That's Ed with Photo Universe. Thanks a lot, and we'll talk to you soon.